Hey, check 1, 2. Sounds good. Let's check this. All right. Hello and welcome back. Thanks for practicing today. Looking forward to sharing with you. Once again, thank you. Big thanks to Second Wind Yoga Mats for sending me these incredible yoga mats. So far, I've pressed on the pink one and the limited edition one, the black and gold. These are both the sticky mats. And we are working out of this book, Tantra Illuminated by Christopher D. Wallace. I know a lot of you have been interested in reading it. It is a super dense, very big book. I'm going to show you one other one for those of you that are, let me just show you one other one. This is called Everything is Consciousness. It's another book on consciousness itself and the yoga of Kashmir Shaivism, which is the lineage for which I resonate most with, non-dual Tantra, that is. That means nothing is, it's the best way to explain this. While it explains things in duality, because that's what the intellect understands, the ultimate foundation is that everything is consciousness just taking form. So we have consciousness currently in the form of human being, in the form of thought, in the form of words. Everything is consciousness is the consistent statement for which Tantra exists upon. And so the way that the rest of this massive book is just to explain that one simple principle to human beings. And, it's philosophically ordering based on observation of reality, according to the yogis. Okay, so we've went over the 5 powers of Shakti, or the 5 Shaktis, the 5 powers of the universe. There is a 6th meta power, and that meta means like all encompassing, and that's freedom's Swatantriya, I think is the name, the Sanskrit name. But essentially we have awareness, bliss, will, knowledge, and action. Now, if we take action and divide it up, we have the 5 acts of consciousness itself. And to remind you that when we talk about consciousness as a thing, as an energy, that energy has 5 powers to it, and now one of those powers is action, and then action has 5, or consciousness has 5 actions that it does. We are using that as more or less philosophy at that point. But how it becomes applicable to our life is recognizing that consciousness exists within us. So the powers that it has exist within us. The actions that it is capable of exist within us and happen on a daily basis. So it says that the 5 acts are Srishti, Sthiti, Samhara, Tirodhana, and Anugraha. That is creation, stasis or sustenance, dissolution or reabsorption or retraction. Tirodhana is concealment or forgetting, and Anugraha is revelation or remembering, grace. So in these first 3, Sriti, Sthiti, and Samhara, we have creation, which is what we talked about previously in this immersion, that we have this ability to create. We can create beauty on our yoga mat. We have this, we create, or kriya create for the sake of, or action for the sake of action. We can create something, and that is a magnificent gift of being human. And so creation is one of the foundations of being a tantrika, a yogi, is recognizing that we create because we can. So that is the gift, and that is kind of a gratitude practice, is to create, whether it's create life by having children, or whether it's creating an artistry piece, whether it's creating, building your business in a creative way. The creation can be, there's so many forms of creation. But the big difference between creating from, in the statement from the powers or the acts of consciousness, is that creation for the sake of creation, rather than creation for the sake of the ego, which is to try to fulfill some empty void in our mind that tells us that we don't have enough, that we're not enough. Okay, filling that ego will always be this tiresome journey that will always be draining. Okay, whereas what we usually refer to in modern language as purpose, when we are fulfilling our purpose, there is a rejuvenation in those actions that comes about. We feel energized from our actions rather than depleted. And the depletion comes from acts of the ego. Okay, so the one that I wanted to talk about today, samhara, which is dissolution, destruction. It is the retraction or reabsorption. The samhara is the one that usually rubs people the wrong way. We could say it's letting go. We could say it is releasing. It is deconstructing. It is basically whatever we've created, it fills a space, right? Now, in order to create more, we need more space. So something has to go. And this is the hardest thing for the human. I think we're good with this book for now. The hardest thing for us as humans is there's a part of the mind that is obsessed with attaching to what it knows, because it feels that the known is safe. When the known is safe, we get attached to it because we know that it's going to help us survive, right? Survival at its greatest instinct is understanding the circumstances that are around you, the known, and the unknown is unsafe, right? So our basic instinctual level, we're always looking for known, safe things, and we want to keep those around for safety, right? Now, where the mistake happens is that we do that on an emotional level too, in our daily life, rather than doing it just for physical survival. We start doing it in mental and emotional survival. It starts probably in when we start going to elementary school, we start looking for those safe zones. We attach to the people that we feel safe with. It's a good thing, right? But it gets a little bit tricky because that same mechanism of the mind attaches and struggles with shifting away from that attachment. It struggles with opening up to the unknown. And opening to the unknown is a natural element of life. So the releasing of the old and in with the new. In order to create something new, we have to release something old. Oftentimes, we don't really know what that is in our life, but there's something, well, I think I'd argue that we do know intuitively, deep inside, or if you don't believe in intuition, then mentally, we know deep down in there what needs to be let go of. It's just hard for us to let go of it. So the ego starts wrapping around why we shouldn't let go of it. All right. And then as a result, what we have is attachment to the old and never creating space for the new. So creation can't happen without the destruction. I'll give you a story. I was in high school, senior year of high school. My favorite art teacher, I loved her. She's incredible. Taught me a lot about life and is largely the reason why I'm here with you today. She had us bring in our favorite art pieces, our best creations, and she tore them up. We didn't know she was going to tear them up. Just bring in your favorite, tore them up. And you can imagine the anger, the heartbreak, the sadness, the tears that were coming from people around the room. The life lesson in that was that if this is your best creation, you'll never create anything better. And that was a lesson for the ego, that this is not your best. This is something in the past. Keep creating, move forward. And while it sucked then, it was awful then, that lesson carried throughout life in a big way. That I realized that even the creation itself wasn't what was magnificent. It was the act of creating that was magnificent. That was the gift. And that's what she was trying to teach us. It wasn't what we've created, but the fact that we can create. And she was delivering that message to us in a hard way. Yes, maybe I wouldn't do that personally, but it was very potent and never left me. So we have this creation, sustenance or sustaining, and then dissolving or dissolution or releasing. So let's put it this way in digestive system. If we ate, then we sustained that process. Okay, so we have food inside of us. Now we're digesting. That's the sustenance, right? We get the energy, we pull it out of it. Now we pull the energy out of the food. Great. Now the next step is to eliminate, let it go. What happens if we can't eliminate? So we take more food in, we digest it, we gain its sustenance again. So create, sustain, but we didn't eliminate the food that we ate the last time. So now we're just piling up. Okay, so we take a little bit more in. Eventually we run out of space and we can't actually take energy from that food because the digestive tract is full. So it is a natural part, and it plays out everywhere if you look around within yourself and around yourself, that destruction is a necessary part of nature. We are nature. So why is it that we struggle as humans to embrace the releasing, the letting go? Like, think about a relationship that you were in at some point. Like, I'm thinking about, like, back in the day, if you got into a relationship, you get in, that's the creation process. You sustain it for a period of time. Then the breakup happens. The expectations around how long that sustenance would happen usually gives way to a big emotional breakdown, right? We if we're on the side of not expecting it, then it's very hard for us to let go of that relationship. We keep thinking of ways that we can get back in, convincing that person, whatever. We grasp, we hold. And if you think back to those relationships, you probably notice that you probably wanted to immediately fill that emptiness of the ego, that attachment, with something else. And then there was a long period of time where you didn't get over that other person, but you were trying to get into a new relationship. But you can't get into that new relationship until you actually get over fully the other person. And life is constantly teaching us that. So either the other person doesn't come and we're in that, like, why does nobody want to date me kind of thing, or that another person comes but we're still attached to the old person, and so we bring our nonsense into that relationship. So if we didn't complete or finish that last relationship emotionally, the next one's not possible. It's not until we completely release that the next relationship is possible. And I'm using relationship just as another way for us to wrap our head around this disillusion or this destruction that is necessary part, the evacuation, the release, the letting go. Okay, so now last thing I'll say is a quote from one of my favorite books, Wisdom of the Peaceful Warrior. I don't have the quote memorized, but I'll paraphrase it. And that is, the human condition that we struggle with is that nobody's happy because we can't get what we want. And even when we get exactly what we want, we're still not happy because we can't hold on to it forever. So unhappy because we can't get what we want, and then still unhappy because we can't hold on to whatever we get forever. This teaching here in this book of destruction or disillusion or retraction or reabsorption back to concealment, this teaching of letting go is trying to show us, it's not saying, oh, life should be different. It's saying this is what life has offered to us. This is an observation of what is within us and all around us. And so we have a choice. We either acknowledge and embrace it, or we keep pushing against it. That's the teaching within this Tantra, the 5 acts of, that's one of the teachings, okay? So the question is, what are we creating, but what are we letting go of in order to create? What are we moving on from? What are we, and can you just let go? That's a whole nother question. How to let go, I think, is another class, but I think that's a tremendous conversation about how to let go. But what we're talking about today is being comfortable with the recognition that nature requires letting go. And maybe that will diminish our stronghold on something that we're attached to, that we recognize that it's just part of nature, that we have to move forward. That means moving on. That means eliminating, digesting, and letting go of what has happened in the past. All right. Take it or leave it. Let's get on our mat. Okay, so let's start in all fours, please. Hands and knees. Grip your fingers into the ground. Take a full breath in. As you exhale, soften your heart down, shoulder blades come together, retract. Keeping this, inhale, lengthen the chest forward, lift the heart. Exhale, push the ground away. Separate the shoulder blades, round the back. Inhale, arch the back, look up. Exhale, round, gaze inward. Inhale, arch, look up. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch. Tuck toes if they're not already. Downward facing dog. Wag the tail a little side to side. Grip the fingers into the ground. Lift the heels. Scoop the tailbone round the back. Plank. Take a breath in. Look forward. Exhale, knees down. Child's pose. Flowing, inhale forward, all fours. Arch, tuck toes. Hips up, down dog. Plank, inhale. Exhale, child's. All fours, hands and knees. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, plank, one more time. Exhale, knees down, child's pose. Inhale, all fours, arch, look up. Exhale, down dog. Right leg to the sky, inhale. Bend knee, open up the hip. Hold here, full breath in. And full breath out. Straighten the leg on the inhale. Exhale, step right foot forward. Come high up on the fingertips and take a breath. Exhale it out. Gather strength in the legs, pull your feet toward each other, and press down through the front heel till your fingers get light. Lengthen through the top of the head. One more full breath in. Exhale, hands down, downward facing dog. Plank pose, inhale. Exhale, knees down, child's pose. Inhale, forward, all fours, arch the back. Exhale, down dog. Left leg to the sky. Bend the knee, open up the hip. Enjoy a full breath in. And out. Straighten the leg, inhale. Step forward. Come up onto your fingertips, take a breath. Soften. Gather strength in the legs, pull your feet toward each other. Get a little lighter in your fingers by pressing down through the heel. Lengthen through the top of the head. One more inhale, get lighter. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, forward, plank. Exhale, child's pose. All fours, inhale. Lean forward, lower, chaturanga. Warming up the back muscles, inhale, lift the heart up. Lift the hands up. Exhale. Two more. Inhale, lift the heart up. Lift the hands up. Exhale. Inhale, lift the heart up. Lift the hands up. Exhale. All fours, hands and knees. Tuck your toes, exhale, down dog. Right leg to the sky, inhale. Step forward as you exhale. Place the back knee down. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, hands to the sky. Exhale, hands to the front knee. Pull your knees toward each other and see if you can get your belly to lift up. Now take your left arm up to the sky and try to get tall so you feel the side of your waistline stretch. See if you can get your abdominals to stretch. Get your shoulder to unhinge from the rib cage, lift it up tall. Now take a little side bend over to your right, stretching the left side. Get a little taller. Shoulder up and over to your right. One more, get a little taller. Over. And come out of the pose. Straighten through the front leg, inhale, look forward. Exhale, bow. Let's enjoy a full breath in here. Come forward, bend the knee. Down dog. Plank pose, inhale. Chaturanga. Slide the hands wide, fingertips round the back. Feet wide. Exhale, soften heart. Pull the heart forward. Belly up. Exhale, release. All fours, hands and knees. Exhale, down dog. Left leg to the sky, inhale. Exhale, step. Back knee down, Anjaneyasana, inhale. Exhale, hands on the knee. All right, gather strength in your legs. Pull your feet toward each other. Lift the belly up. Take your right arm up. Lift the right shoulder a little bit taller. And try to get long on the right side body. Lift the belly up and get a nice stretch and side bend over to the left. Again, get taller. Side bend to the left. A little bit taller, lift your right ribs up. Belly up. Over to the left. And release. Straighten both legs. Inhale, look forward. Exhale and bow. Hold here for a breath. Bend the front knee. Downward up. Forward plank. Exhale, Chaturanga. Slide the hands wide, fingertips inhale, round. Soften. Pull the heart forward and up. And release. All fours, hands and knees. Tuck the toes, exhale, down dog. All right, let's hang here and breathe. And I'll explain a little bit about the physical body and this idea of dissolution in the muscular system. So when we talk about destruction in terms of the physical form, of course, we're not talking about injuring ourselves or anything like that. We're talking about releasing patterns, muscular behaviors that restrict other patterns to occur. So we're not necessarily getting rid of patterns. We're only getting rid of the ones that restrict new ones to form. So that might be unnecessary tension, holding of certain muscles that will do not release. That might be strengthening certain muscles that do not like to be strong in our physical body, that we have these patterns that actually minimize our ability to attain more strength and more flexibility. So we're trying to work through those so that we have greater access to create and express ourselves in our physical form. Walk the feet forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and bow. So what we're searching for in our yoga practice is the patterns that do not serve us. Letting go of things that perhaps might be holding us back from our higher potential in our physical body, the ability to fully express ourselves, the ability to move freely, to have a certain level of mastery over our connection to our physical form requires a letting go of old patterns that do not serve us. This is what we mean when we're talking about the dissolution or the reabsorption, moving back into a state of emptiness so that we can fully express ourselves and create something new. Hands to the hips and rise all the way up. That's what we've been doing all month, and anyone that's been practicing for a while, it's what we are always doing. We're dissolving old patterns so that we can form new ones. And when new ones form, eventually those patterns sometimes become also old patterns that need to be reformed. It's a constant forming of new or creation of new neuromuscular patterns. And that's actually the beauty, is that we get to create, not necessarily the creation of what we've done in the past, like, oh, I can do this pose, but rather the fact that we can create neuromuscular patterning in our physical body. That is the magnificence. And so the practice of yoga is not about creating something and holding on to it forever, but rather constant creation. That's why it's called a practice, not a performance, a constant creation process within. Okay, so let's create with our physical form by letting go of what's not needed and bringing in some new neuromuscular patterns. That is, when we think a thought about taking action in our body, then neurons fire in our system, and then muscles start to engage according to our thought, our command. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bow to the earth, Uttanasana. Halfway lift on the inhale. Exhale, step the left foot back. Back knee comes down. Inhale, rise, Anjaneyasana. Lift, 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 lift. Exhale, release, hands to the ground. Plank, inhale. Lean forward, lower, chaturanga. Slide fingers wide. Inhale, round. Exhale, soften. Inhale, pull the heart forward. Exhale, release. All fours, hands and knees. Tuck toes, exhale, down dog. 3 breaths, inhale. Exhale. We see it in our exhale, right? Or the elimination, the release. We don't ever have emotional issues around letting go of the breath because we know from experience that the breath will always come back in so long as this human body is alive. So we don't freak out from the exhale, right? But we do freak out in our daily life with things that are new or unfamiliar because we don't know yet, life hasn't shown us yet, that there will always be that inhale. So we struggle with letting go of things because we don't recognize, or we forget, which is another power or act, forgetting. We forget that things are going to come around again. So there's a bit of trust issues that we have with life, and that's why we struggle with attachments. We stay attached to things that we know, and we struggle with letting go of things to move on to the unknown. Lift the heels up, inhale, look forward. Empty the breath, hop or step. Half lift, inhale. Exhale and bow. Rise to the sun, inhale, Urdhva. To the earth, bow, Uttanasana. Half lift, inhale, Ardha. Right foot back, knee comes down. Rise, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, hands to the ground. Inhale, plank pose. Lean forward, heart forward, chaturanga. Slide the hands wide, feet wide, round the back. Soften chest in front of shoulder blades. Shoulder blades retract, pull the heart forward. And release. All fours, hands and knees. Tuck the toes, exhale, down dog. So knowing the process, that for every exhale, there happens to be an inhale on the other end. It doesn't necessarily make letting go easier. Still a challenge, right? But there is a certain trust that begins to form over time, that we know there will always be a metaphorical inhale in our life. And then that trust allows us to more easily release the old so that we can create the new. Lift the heels, look forward. Empty the breath, hop or step. Half lift, inhale. Exhale, bow. To the sunrise, Urdhva Hastasana. To the earth, bow, Uttanasana. Halfway lift, inhale. Step both feet or hop, chaturanga. Just up dog or cobra, inhale, one breath. Exhale, down dog. Right leg to the sky, inhale. Step forward as you exhale. High lunge, inhale, rise up. And hold. Connect to your foundation, your feet. Pull your feet toward each other. Lift the hips a little higher. Lift the belly taller. Lift the heart up. Take the hands back. Exhale, hands to your front thigh and pause. Hold here, round the back slightly. Firm up your inner back thigh to the sky. Hold. Let's warm up the back muscles. So you're going to take your arms back behind you and then swim them forward, up on a diagonal. 3 breaths. Inhale. Buttock muscles engaged, obviously pressing down through the heel. Lift the heart a little bit. 1 more breath. Exhale, hands to the ground. Now take your left hand a little wide. We take a breath in together. You're going to use the exhale to twist. Inhale, release the hand to the ground. Again, exhale to twist. 1 more. Inhale, hand to the ground. Exhale. Brilliant. Hand to the ground, inhale. 1 fell swoop, chaturanga. Cobra or upward dog, your choice. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg to the sky. Step forward. Use your strength. Press down, rise up, high lunge. Hold, soften. Feel your feet, your foundation, and press down into them. Squeeze your legs toward each other. Find that strength and lift your belly up. Lift the sides of your ribs up and take the hands back. 1 more breath. Lift the heart up. Hands to the front thigh. Release. Okay, pitch your body forward. Use your buttock muscles. Scoop your left butt under and press down. Keeping the buttocks firmly pressing into the heel. Take the arms back behind you. Retract your shoulder blades. Now swim the arms up on a diagonal. Hold. 2 more. One more. Hands to the ground. Inhale, plank. Sorry, I did that wrong. Exhale, chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Let's enjoy 3 breaths together. Embracing the exhale. Recognizing the natural movement towards letting go that is built into our humanity. Our digestive system lets go of unnecessary food. Our respiratory system lets go of unnecessary air. Can we let go of unnecessary thoughts and emotions and physical patterns that no longer serve us? This is the challenge. Lift the heels up, look forward. Empty the breath. Hopper step. Half lift, inhale. Exhale and bow. To the sunrise, Urdhva Hastasana. To the heart. Bend the knees, hands to the thighs, pause. Sit back into your heels. Let's warm up the back muscles a little bit more. Push your heels out, lift your heart up. Turn the palms out, reach up. Shoulders up, heart up. Butt back, sit a little bit back, a little more. 3 more breaths. Two more. One more. Exhale, bow. Half lift, inhale, prepare. Step or hop, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Right leg to the sky, inhale. Step forward on the exhale. Rise. Open warrior two. We're going to continue to flow reverse warrior, inhale. Warrior two. Forward first, inhale, reverse. Warrior two. Forward, up, hands to the ground. Pivot the back heel up. Inhale, straighten through the front leg. Exhale and bow. One breath in. And out. Sorry, I realized I missed a twist on the other side. I'll get to that. Bend the front knee, inhale. Step back, down dog. Left leg to the sky, inhale. Step forward. Rise, high lunge. Open warrior two. 3 times reverse, inhale. Warrior two. Forward. Up. Warrior two. One more, forward. Up, 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 up. Hands to the ground. Pivot the back heel up. First we'll do the twist. As I missed it, right hand up to the right. We take a breath in. As you exhale, twist. 2 more. Both hands to the ground. Let's get the straight leg forward fold in there. Inhale, straighten. Exhale and bow. Enjoy a full breath in. And up. Bend the front knee. Step to down dog. Forward to plank, inhale. Chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. And exhale, down dog. Exhale it out. 2 more. One more. Lift the heels, look forward. Empty it out. Hopper step. Half lift, inhale. Exhale, bow. Bend the knees. Utkatasana, chair pose. Palms to the heart. Take your left tricep over to the right thigh. Pause there. Lay your right side of your back and shoulder. Pull your right shoulder back and lay back a little bit in the right side of your back. Holding this, pull your left ribs in a little towards the spine. So round your left side of your back. Arch the right side. So back bend on the right side of your back, the upper side. Forward fold on the left side, the underside. That's very hard. If you can do both, that's where you'll get your maximum twist from. Full breath in. One more breath. And release, both hands to the ground, slow. Half lift. Buttocks up, exhale, bow. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bow. Second side, hands on the hips, bend the knees, chair pose. Now take your right tricep over to the left thigh. Okay, so the top shoulder pulls back and you do a back bend in the upper side of the body. So you pull back and kind of curl back, lean back. Now the lower side, imagine you're doing an arm balance. Pull your right rib cage back into your spine. So your right shoulder blade, the bottom shoulder blade is more protracted. The right side of your upper back is more full, rounded, where the upper side is more back bent. Okay, what I'm trying to get you to activate is the abdominals through the rounding and the back muscles through the arching. Doing both is what creates an even twist. Let's stay here and breathe. One more. Slowly release the hands to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift to readjust the spine. Exhale and bow. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow. Inhale, halfway lift. Right foot back, exhale. Push down, rise, high lunge. Place the hands at the heart. Take a twist over to your opposite thigh. Okay, same idea. Pull your right shoulder back and pull your left hip bone even pulls up like you're pulling your pubic bone up, and your left ribs pull back. So think of contracting or rounding the left side of your back while the right side of the back opens. Maintain that, your right shoulder pulling back. This is the thing about everything in nature, everything in existence. We know that there's opposite forces always balancing one another out. So in order to create, we must let go, which is part of the balance of the universe itself. In order to twist, we activate the back side of the right body, the front side of the left. And slowly, both hands to the ground. Heel toe the right foot, the front foot over to the right, to the left. Left foot to the right. So you crisscross your legs. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale and bow. You should feel this in the outer hip and IT band. Two more breaths. One more breath. All right, heel toe the feet. Step back, step forward, sorry. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Observe the right and left hip. Exhale, bow, keeping your buttocks lifted. Notice the energy in your right side versus your left. Inhale, halfway lift. This time you're going to soften your knees, rest your chest on your thighs, and take your hands behind your back, interlace the fingers. Shrug your shoulders to your ears first, step one. Step two, shoulder blades together, retract. And then reach the hands back behind you, open the shoulders as you bow. You can straighten your legs now if you'd like. And let's hang here for 5 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Notice what pinky is on the outside because we'll switch it next round. I just want you to acknowledge what your dominant grip is. Three more. Retract your shoulder blades to open the heart. One more. Get both hands to the ground, release. Half lift, inhale. Step right foot back. Gather strength in the feet, push down, rise up. Twist to the left. Place the palms together in front of you. Pull the left shoulder back, round the underside of your body. So pull your right ribs back, twist. Open the left heart, more of a back bend in the top side. Twists are usually synonymous with elimination. There's a squeeze of the organs. And that, theoretically speaking, would lead to a release of energy downward to eliminate what's in the digestive tract. How much evidence there is, scientifically speaking, for that is another story, but that's the idea in the philosophy of twists. Elimination. Letting go. Physically. Look down, hands to the ground. Switch which side of the mat your feet are on. Inhale, lift. And exhale, bow. Enjoy a breath in. And a breath out. One more. All right. Here's what we'll do. We'll step forward, halfway lift. Bow as you exhale. Halfway lift to reset. And now bend the knees, rest your chest on your thighs to start. Interlace the fingers, non-dominant grip, so other pinky on the outside. Stretch the shoulders open, reach the hands. Straighten the legs as much as you can without straining. And bow. 5 breaths. Your shoulder blades, try to retract them, move them together. Like you were doing in the upper shoulder of your twists. One more breath. All right, release the hands to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift. Right foot back. Consiousness, rise. And take your right tricep, left thigh. Okay, place your palms together. Now your hip is going to pull back like this. You'll see the knee tends to wing out because the hip's a little bit tight. So you're going to move your hip forward. That's also because your abdominals are pulling on the pelvis to open up. Okay, you're going to keep the knee facing straight forward and the knee not winging out. Round the back a little bit to start and get deeper into the twist. Now, once you've rounded the back a little to start, now pull the left shoulder back. So what we do when we do twists is we work both the front and back body. Even the sides of the body are at work. We're trying to eliminate any sort of holding patterns in the system, whether it be the abdominals, whether it be the pectorals, whether it be the back muscles, trying to release the patterns so that we can create new ones. That's kind of the idea behind twists, resetting the system so that the spine can go back to a neutral state. I could attest to it from a personal standpoint of experience. That twist really helped me get back into, if I've got patterns building up in my body, I start feeling aches and pains, start doing a slow twisting practice, and it tends to release. I can't necessarily attest to it from a scientific. I don't know if there's evidence behind that or not. So you can be the judge from your practice if you feel unwound and renewed. Okay, release. Ooh, let's step back this time. Come to all fours. Inhale, arch slowly. Downward facing dog as our resting posture for now. Observe what you feel, how you feel. All right, walk the feet to the front of the mat. I don't recommend hopping this around. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow. Bend the knees. Let's regain our strength. Sit low, reach the arms up. Hold. Butt back and up, heart up. One more breath. Exhale, bow. Halfway lift, inhale. Left foot back, knee down. Anjaneyasana, rise. Exhale, twist. Hold. Okay, so leaning forward slightly. Pull the belly back and round a little bit in the spine in order to get your left tricep as far over as you can. Again, your front knee will tend to wing out to the right. Squeeze it in or use your elbow to keep it in to help out. Okay, now use the upper shoulder to initiate a back bend. So pull your right shoulder back, heart opens. The underside of the body still bows forward. So think of your left rib cage pulling back, rounding slightly as your upper heart opens. Is it possible to keep that rounding slightly in the midsection, belly back, ribs back, but upper heart contrasts that to create a twist? In twist, we start to notice our holding patterns. You start to see where in the hips or in the spine or in the neck and the shoulders, whatever it might be, kind of holds us back. And once we start noticing patterns, we can literally unwind those patterns and rewind and create new ones. The observation of the patterns is what it means to be a yoga practitioner, at least in the asana practice we're talking about right now. But in the mental practice of being a yogi as well, observing our mental and emotional patterns, being aware of them. Awareness is the highest, right? We talked about that chit in the beginning. Chit is awareness. It's a power that we have within us. Okay, release. Grateful we are for it. Inhale, halfway lift. And as yogis, we are trying to tap into that power of awareness. Bring the hands to the hips and rise all the way up. So we become aware of what we have, the patterns inside, our holding patterns, so that we can release them and we can move on with creating new, so that we have room, we have space to expand into our life. All right, so let's move into, you have two options here. Bring your left, let's twist to the right first since we just did that. Okay, so bring your right knee up, take your left hand across. Now, we did prep the hamstrings and the outer hips, so you could, if possible for you, you pull your knee towards your chest as much as you can, and you take your hand on the outer foot here. The top shoulder pulls up and back, it retracts. Then you might twist here. The left rib cage moves down while the right rib cage moves up, right shoulder moves up and back. Maybe reaching the hand back. Potentially, he may have access to kicking the foot forward. Give it a shot if possible. This shoulder pulls up and back. Option to gaze towards the backhand if you have the balance. We'll do 3 more breaths. Sustenance is one of the actions sustaining the posture. One more. Cool. Come back to center, bend the knee. Slow, controlled release. I love the sustenance, or sthiti it's called. The posture is also named after that. Samasthiti is that poise between creation and destruction, those moments between the inhales and the exhales, that space of where we everything feels at ease, the known is manifested, and it's brief. Everything is brief. So we embrace that sthiti, that moment of balance, that moment of poise between the postures. and then we create on the other side. Okay, so let's take the creation process. Grateful that we released the pose, right? We released the pose, thank God, so that we can create on the other side. Let's grab the foot, if you can. Otherwise, grab the knee. Lift your shoulder up and back. Option to kick the foot forward. Hard up. Maybe pulling the shoulder back. So the bottom rib cage, so the right rib cage, goes down, and the left shoulder and heart go up in opposition. That's going to get the obliques fired up, the ribs going down and towards the opposite hip. And then the rotators of the spine, lifting the heart up and back, are going to activate, creating a full body twist in participation of both sides of the torso. So we created the shape. Now is the sustaining, the second of our abilities to take action, sustenance. Two more. Longing for the destruction now, aren't we? The release. Okay. Come back around. And then we release. We love a quick release of the things that challenge us, don't we? Okay, back into sthiti, that place in between the creation and the destruction, that place right in between. You can now feel it as you stand with poise in Tadasana. All right. So next step, I'm going to recommend we use a block. There are two ways to do it. Okay, so you take, we'll twist to the right first, but I'm going to demo a twist to the left. So two ways to do it is take the armpit over the knee with the foot on the block, and you'll end up something like this, okay? You'll never reach the ground this way, but what the block does is it helps pulls the knee up towards the armpit. The other way to do it is bring the ground up to the hand, like so, okay? Now, the thing that I don't love about this is that you see that the armpit is not in contact with the knee. So what we're trying to go for eventually is getting the armpit and knee in connection. And the reason for that is the next step I'll give away where we're going, which we may not be going to today, but eventually, is a bound twisted posture here, okay? So we may not be there today yet, but I'd like us to get to today this connection of the armpit to the knee. So let's, you know what, I'll just make the executive decision right now. Place the block underneath your right foot, okay? And come into Anjaneyasana. So now we take the hinge forward, lean forward, and we have to, the left ribs pull back a little bit. We have to round our back in order to get the left armpit over the thigh, okay? Then usually what I do is I get the arm in here and just kind of nudge my heart open. So the bottom side, the left rib cage is pulling back and rounding, while the right side is opening. Then I just straighten the elbow, not so attached to trying to reach the ground. That's not the point, okay? Especially, you know, I have really long arms and I can just get my fingertips to the ground. The point is, can you get your armpit over your knee, snug in there, keeping that armpit and knee snug as you possibly can, then open up the chest without losing that snugged position. Helps to pull the belly back and then kind of think like a turtle comes out of its shell. Top arm can go up, can go back, anything of that nature. Okay, and then release. Woo! Second side. Okay, so we take the block underneath the left foot. Coming on up. Pull the belly and ribs back. Slow. Since we just twisted deeply the other way, it's not going to just unfold for us. So just pause with an elbow on the knee. With the spine, right? We just created a pattern, a short-term pattern that is. Now we're trying to unwind that pattern that we just created by twisting the opposite direction. Belly in and up. So unwinding a pattern takes longer than creating a pattern because you're unwinding and then simultaneously creating. So unwinding is the disillusion, it's the destruction, it's the exhale of life. And then you'll feel it at some point. Your back will start to come back and around. Now you can pull your ribs back around the back and see if you can get your armpit just resting right on top of your knee. Really snug in there, okay? Now pause. It's all about timing, allowing the timing to unfold. We can't just let go at our own will. That's, again, I was saying the conversation around letting go, that's a whole nother story. But recognizing that letting go is part of the process releases some of the pressure on us to take action, and we just recognize that it's part of the unfolding of life. If we just allow it, we allow ourselves to release attachment, letting go will happen in time. It's the attachment that's the real issue. Okay, turning the chest, recognizing the attachment, recognizing the pattern. Is all awareness, chit. Choosing to acknowledge that this is a natural part of life can help release that holding to what is no longer. Reach the left hand up so that we can start creating the new. All right, and release. Brilliant. All right, so coming downward facing dog. Let the spine readjust. Observe what you've created from your practice, from your actions. Unwinding is an action. Come forward to plank. Lower all the way to the ground and roll onto your back. I'm gonna avoid the, whenever I say that, I always feel bad because I'm not going all the way down and rolling up because of the transmitter here. All right, so let's take a twist to the right, hips to the left. Right knee across. You could always, any variation is okay. You could always put a block underneath your knee. Just a supine twist. Release that side. Oops, sorry. Switch. Oh, twist to the left. slowly release. Take a gentle, gentle bridge pose just to evenly activate the back muscles. And release. Take the back of your head towards the left shoulder and then look to your right. Twist in the cervical of the neck. Gentle. Try to relax the back of your heart down. Back to center. Head goes to the right shoulder, then look to the left. Again, you created a pattern, a short-term pattern that is, but you did twist one way. So first let the twist unwind, so gentle. And when you feel the unwinding, then you can start to wind the other way. And as you're ready, come back to center and stretch the legs out as you wish into Shavasana. Let's take a breath in through the nose. And gently out through the mouth, let the teeth relax. And let go of Ujjayi breath now. Embracing the stillness within. Come back to your breath. Come back to your body, the fingers and toes. Bend your knees, roll to your side. Come up to a seated position. Place the hands at the heart. Maybe recognize that we have this privilege to have a power of action within us. And that in order to create, which is one of the powers of action, that we also must destruct or release or dissolve what is no longer needed to make space for creation to occur. We must move on, let go, release, so that we can fully be present with the creation right now. Bowing inward, with gratitude for these abilities to take action in our life, though they present challenges. We're grateful that we have them. Namaste. Thank you so very much. Nice to share with you today. Can be a tough or heavy or challenging or exciting topic, depending on where you are in that process. It might be revelatory in the realization that, that's why I haven't been able to fully create. I haven't been able to move forward. Or it can be daunting of maybe you're not ready to let go. There's an attachment there, or whatever it might be. So wherever you are is totally part of the process, and accepting that and understanding that, I think, is the real lesson in this teaching. It's more so than anything else is just acknowledging the process, that this is part of the process. So thank you so very much. Also, thank you to Second Wind, and those of you that are interested in the 200-hour training to become a certified yoga teacher, please reach out to me directly. You can email me, matt@theyogimat.com. And if you're interested in the 300-hour, which starts this Sunday, so that time's running out on that. So if you are a certified teacher and you want to advance your skill sets, make sure you message me right away so that we can get you signed up for the 300-hour training, or at least discuss whether or not it is the right step for you. Okay. And see you soon, everybody. Take care.